What is FOMO? FOMO is a acronym for fear of missing out. It as as the name suggests, it's the fear of missing out. So, for example, if you decided to call in sick for work, and all of a sudden, boom, LeBron James enters the building, and then he's just giving everybody free PS5s, that could be considered fear of missing out. What that has to do with the video, I don't know, but a lot of games use it, right? Most recognizably in the form of like limited events, right? Fortnite, there are the limited seasons, right? If you missed out on season 1, then you missed out on all the skins. Boom, FOMO, right? And while it that sounds bad in itself, it's used as a tool for games to ensure engagement, right? Back with Fortnite, whenever they release seasons, a lot of people like to, tune in. They start playing at the beginning of the season to get all the stuff, and it's just guaranteed players. Every time they drop like a new limited event, everybody's gonna want to go and grab the skins or whatever. It's just guaranteed people tuning in. And while that may seem good, like especially for the developers, since they're getting all the money from the people participating, the people who don't participate suffer because they missed out, right? They get the FOMO. They no longer have what everybody else has, and it's like a bad time for them. For the most part, a lot of games handle it sort of well, because what they're missing out on is just skins, right? That's not like the end of the world. Oh, I don't have Renegade Rainer, right? That's not the end of the world. But then we go to games like TDX, right? What the video is about. Whenever TDX has their FOMO moments, it's mostly in events, right? And not just the gameplay itself, it also comes with the skins and the towers, the event towers. Yeah, that's right, that's what the video is about. Event towers and FOMO. So while TDX has solved the issue of limited time modes coming back, right? So people can still play it even though the event is over. There still is the issue of the limited event towers. You see, balancing these towers has got to be like top 5 of worst things a balancer could do, because not only are you supposed to make it interesting, right? Because you can't just have Ranger 2, right, and you call it a day. It has to be a tower that people would want to get, right? So you can ensure that players are getting it, and you get paid. You also got to make sure it's not too crazy, because then that would make the FOMO even worse. Like imagine if they released a Goku tower, right, that was only out for 30 days and it's over, you no longer can get the Goku tower, right? So not only are you missing out on participating in the event, you're missing out on a crucial tool that could help you on your journey, right? And that just sucks. So balancing them must be insane. And for the most part, TDX has done a alright job of creating and balancing event towers in a way where it's like they're not super crazy, but they're not like super bad. I mean, Cryo Ranger was kind of bad. I mean, but she's kind of quirky, so we let her slide. But then there's other towers like Commander, right? Commander, a lot of people would argue that tower shouldn't really be an event tower. Everybody should have it, but at the same time, John is kind of replaceable, or what's it called? Interchangeable with the Commander, because they both kind of serve the same purpose essentially. So TDX has like an alright track record. But then on the other side of the spectrum, we have towers like Mima. I forgot what her name was, but she was absolutely cracked. And then there was Cryo Heli. Cryo Heli's pretty good, and they had to make some drastic changes to those towers. I may be wrong on Cryo Heli, but I know for sure that Mima got absolutely gutted because she was just so insane. And now, most recently, we have the Relic Tower, which at first it was alright, it wasn't too crazy. They balanced it kind of sort of well, right? The early upgrades were alright, but then it gets outclassed by some other towers, and then the final upgrade is kind of quirky. The Overseer, nobody is really getting Overseer seriously, but they recently made a change to where the Relic is kind of strong, and this raises a lot of concerns, not only for its strength, but of just how cool it is too. It just shoots a laser beam, and from anybody else's perspective who missed out on the event are like on their knees that they missed out on such a cool tower, and that just amplifies FOMO, and it's just a bad time all around. And I feel like there's a way better way to go about this, And it is, instead of having event towers within events be exclusive, they make it so skins are okay. No, I went about that wrong. Oops. We completely remove event towers being exclusive, and instead, since if TDX still wants to keep some sort of elitism or fucking hierarchy bullshit, right? If they still want to have that, then they implement skins, event tower skins that are exclusive. So then you have the people who got the event tower, right? Which should be everybody, right? Like what I'm advocating for is everybody should be able to get event towers, but what they shouldn't be able to get and what should be exclusive are optional skins that doesn't affect gameplay at all, right? So that way, right, I'm about to hit like 5 birds with one stone right here. I watch this, right? So not only will it be easier for balancers to balance, right? Because they don't have to make it so like, oh, it's not too good, right? It's decent, but it's kind of quirky. They don't need to do all that, right? They can go all out if they want to. This could be a super quirky tower that does something really useless, right? It's just a very silly tower to use, or they can have something really strong that like rivals another tower. They could totally do that since everybody will be able to get it, right? That relieves a lot of stress for the balancers, right? And that relieves a lot of stress for the players too, because they're not forced to have to get this tower within a very restricted time frame, right? They can get it whenever they want, right? So now nobody's missing out, right? Everybody can do it. But then if you still want to have that layer of gameplay where it's like, oh, I have this over you, I have Renegade Raider, you don't have Renegade Raider, you could have the skins, right? You can make it so, oh, this skin is super cool, right? You're still, showing everybody that, oh, you're the boss, right? And nobody else has this except for you. So boom, you have that. And you might be wondering, how exactly are we gonna make it so everybody can still get it, right? Are you just gonna leave the battle pass open? What? No, because TDX already has the battle pass there, right? If you want to buy Robux, you can, right? If you want to get all the stuff there, you can, right? What I'm suggesting is after the time period, right, where you can unlock the event tower in the battle pass, you are now able to buy the event towers for crystals. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. I feel like the crystals or the second currency, at first a lot of people weren't really sure about their addition to the game, right? Because like, who wants to grind for like this currency and then eventually they gotta grind for that currency? But I think what that does, right, is I think that inadvertently creates a barrier between players, right? So then you have players at the beginning of the game who are just starting out and they're just buying all the fundamental towers with gold, right? And then eventually, once they hit that rite of passage, like maybe like level 100, right? They're now in the big leagues, and they're now, instead of getting gold, they're getting crystals, right? And that's when they get the end game towers, right? And I think that time frame is where you should be able to buy older event towers, right? So now you have not only like, are you making more use of the second currency, right? You're also letting more people get the event towers. Boom.
But Remy, what about the devs?
Hi, I'm Gabe. I'm also in this episode.
You are absolutely right, random person. That is totally not false. The devs would be possibly missing out on a lot of playtime because the event towers being in the battle passes ensures players will play upwards of 10 plus hours, grinding the battle pass to get the event tower. So what you do is simple, really. You just increase the crystal price way more than it would be if you were to just grind the battle pass, so that you can still incentivize people playing the event during that time frame. So let's say, for example, new event tower, Fire Ranger, it would take upwards of 12 hours of game time to get that many battle pass tokens to get it. So in crystal terms, you can make it so it's 15 or 20. It's 20 hours worth of crystals. Boom. Easy solution. So you're still getting it. You could just grind crystals whenever you want, right? And just have that time right there. And then whenever the event comes out, and then after the event is over, you can then make your purchase. Boom. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about the whole event tower exclusivity and FOMO and my way of remedying that issue by reusing a in-game mechanic. So yeah, that's all. If you guys have anything to say, comments below. Yeah, that's it. See ya.